week in terms of crypto space, as you summarized. I mean, it's been a little bit like a roller coaster, and but the underlying market is actually very strong. I mean, it's been very bull market for a long time now. It's adjusted, and I think we see a lot of appreciation. You've seen, especially in the Ethereum space, you've seen, like we discussed earlier today, about the transaction fees, how crazy things are becoming, and it's cooling down. You see new technologies coming, and you see the way we have been very persistent with Ripple is paying off in terms of transaction cost and possibility. So what we should talk about today is going to be a very brief update, because we are in the midst of a lot of stuff. So I'm going to show a little bit about these cards, NFTs, that we are developing. We are in the final process with this, and we will start releasing them already next week. And we have created these smart contracts based on the ERC 721 non-fungible token contracts. So that's already done. We have it on testnet. We've been doing below that. We have, of course, created all the assets. We are now massaging the assets a little bit so they become even better. And I'm going to show you these assets now. But before that, maybe I should also mention the super token. We will release the staking shortly for the previous month. We converted to super token. We also created a new smart contract, also on testnet for the ERC token. We have decided to actually stay with the ERC 20. The reason for this is to be able to plug it in to all kind of exchanges. And we are now looking, like we discussed before or mentioned before, about Binance, and we're probably gonna go there. But that's the same technology. We also created what's called a vesting contract. That means we are able to regulate how these tokens are tradable. So we created a pretty sophisticated stuff there. It's all on testnet, and we are ready to roll that out very shortly. But let's talk about the cards, which is one of our NFT schemes. We also have spaces. We're going to leave that today. We're going to talk about the cards, and we're going to talk about how we design them, how the purpose of these cards are. So I think we start showing a little bit of graphics would be good, and we'll all be yes. So from the outset, I mean, the purpose of this company is to delight players. That's the main thing, to enter into the gaming space. I mean, to really have a lot of millions and millions and millions of players all over the world. At the same time, we are into this business part of it, where we have mentioned before the affiliate platform and how we make it possible for everyone to make more money around the world. And that's those two things we are combining in a very unique proposition. And it's also plugged into, of course, the crypto, the real-time payment, and all this. So let's jump straight into the NFT cards. So in the gameplay, we have three different cards that will be used. We have a silver card. We also have other smaller cards, like a player card that you can get a free pass, but they are not these kind of cards. They are different. So these cards, they have a 5% staking, and we have bronze cards, we have silver cards, and we have gold cards. Those are the three type of cards we have, which is called ownership cards. These cards you can own, or you can rent them. If you rent them, that's the free pass cards. Actually, they are connected to this. So now we are talking about NFTs that you can purchase, not consumables in the game. We're talking about NFT cards, NFT ERC 71 tokens you can buy. So we have three different ones that has a mission in the game. We have the bronze, silver, and gold. The bronze, they give you a free pass on all the easy questions in the game. We have three different difficulties in the game: easy, medium, and difficult. So the bronze give you a free pass on the easy questions. The silver give you on the medium questions, and the gold give you a free pass on the hard questions. or difficult questions. So that's the game functionality. So what we created on top of this is probably the first NFT scheme that not only have a utility value, but also financial value for the holders that is connected to the retail product, which is the game. So what we will have is that every time someone uses a free pass on the bronze question, the easy questions, the bronze card will earn 5% in staking. But it's not only the bronze card that earn. We have made matching. So silver will match and gold will match. They will also make 5% of all every time someone purchase a bronze free pass on an easy question, all these three cards will make 5%. And that's the beauty of it. And it will be pooled. So there are only hundreds of each of these cards for each player. So we have 100 players in total. So there are 10,000 bronze cards, 10,000 silver cards, 10,000 gold cards altogether. That's the limit. So with the high frequency of gameplay with millions of players, these cards will have a very high, not only utility value, but also financial value. So what happened if somebody asks for a free pass on a silver question? Well, the silver earn 5%, and the gold earn also 5%, because the gold is higher ranking. So it's always matching to the lower. A little bit similar like we have in the affiliate system. But we have taken our sort of knowledge and expertise from the affiliate system and passported it into the NFT scheme. And we believe it's a very, very strong way of doing it to create both utility value and a financial value and a collector value, because these are limited and they have a purpose in a game that's going to go into the millions of people and hopefully tens of millions. And they have a really great three things there, really cool. So utility value and financial value in terms of rewarding value, and collector, because they are rare, they are limited. So this is how it's working. Those are the three schemes we have. And you see how we manipulated the pictures, how we create this as artwork. This is artwork, and I'm going to show you more of this now. But this is really artwork. Those NFTs are unique. And you know, the whole concept of an NFT or these cards is that they are unique, okay? They are hosted, so these images that we sell, they are hosted on servers. And we've taken it to another extent now, because everything on Super One is hosted on Amazon Web Services. But in order to be truly decentralized, we are changing this with the NFT cards. The NFT cards are being hosted on what's called IPFS, Internet Planetary File System. That means that all these NFTs, when you dump them on the decentralized hosting IPFS, it's spread all over the world, and you can never change it. It's like a token. You cannot change it. We cannot change the name, we cannot change the picture itself, and we cannot change the URL of the picture. It's a one-time URL. You can never change it. And that's the good thing. And that has taken us, not a lot, but substantial extra work this week. The reason for this is that our platform has a different URL scheme based on the Amazon. Now we are taking this and we're bringing in the new decentralized file system in the world using IPFS.io and Filecoin system. So for everyone well-versed in crypto, this is the most advanced things you can do in crypto. It's really cool, great composition. So above these three cards, we have what we call the legend cards. They come in 10 of each. Here you see a little bit wrong numbering, but that's just a mock-up. And we have the original card that comes in only one. So there will be one Ronaldo original card, 10 legend cards. The purpose of these cards is that they also match on staking on the cards below them. So every time there is a card transaction happening on bronze, silver, or gold, the legend will match 5%, and the original card will match 5%. These cards will have a much higher price tag So the legend card are priced at $10,000, and the original card, which we maybe not want to even sell, have a price tag of $100,000. The bronze is aimed at $250, and the silver is $500, and the gold is $1,000. But there is a difference. These are much bigger collector item, and we will also in the future be able to add more exclusive features to them. So we might not even offer them for sale at this point in time. So we want to these consist of 100 players of 10 cards for the legend. That's 1,000 cards, and there are 10 cards, or no, 100 original cards, 100 times one card. So these are part of the whole suit, and more stronger collector item. So that's the top cards, and we see this. We've taken this a little bit from, if you look into Pokemon, if you look into some of the most famous card schemes in the world, they have this kind of original card, and the original card will always contain a picture from where the player is originated into his success. So it could be the first match or something like that, first goal. It could be something in that direction. Now we don't have deployed that yet on these cards, this illustration, but that's in the reality. So what I want to show you now is a little bit what we're doing with these cards, because we are taking them to a different level. For those of you being into the NFT world, you see a lot of animations coming through, and we are also doing that. We're doing some really cool stuff, and these are being applied. We are releasing 10 and 10 players at the time. So we've done this for 10 players. This is not the original, the final result, but this is what I'm showcasing you now. This will go into deployment Monday, Tuesday, and then we have the file and the whole thing, and then we will roll it out. But to show you a little bit the effect, here you see a smoke effect in the back. This will be animated GIFs we have, and then we have another effect on the different, so a little bit different cards. This is to make these cards sort of unique. So we have different stuff. So this is just to make it more dynamic and make it more entertaining. There's a little bit of the trend in the sort of decentralized, how should I say, artwork industry. So I mentioned IPFS, so I'm not going to talk that much about that. Everyone is asking when this is coming, and this is about to release. We're going to have a release inside the company, or not inside the app, where you can buy these cards with your credits that we have allocated a certain amount. 10% of the cards will enter there, and that's one part of it. And we're going to release it in the open market of the NFT stores around the world, and we're going to have the revenue we make from those stores, or retail. You can say we retail our product, because that's what we're doing. We are retailing our product, and we're going to bring that revenue into the network, like we said, with 10% staking, etc., etc. So we're gonna do that, but we're gonna open us up, sort of, and get into there. There is a little bit of a rat race in the NFT store. We have been working with OpenSea, which is the biggest one, and we just realized now that Binance is opening its own store first week of June. So there might be that we release directly in there, either in addition to something else, or do an exclusive listing there. They have a lot of volume of buyers, and it's also about the transaction cost, because the Ethereum has been skyrocketing on transaction cost recently. All our tests, we pay like $50, even more for a transaction, while you're looking at Binance Chain, you're looking at 10, 20, 30 cents. So there is a big advantage from a business point of view. This is what we're doing, or have done the past week. We're doing a lot of other stuff also, but this is the main thing. Our main shipping of this product is the main thing. We have a new video that we will release together with these cards, or maybe even before. It's a 45-second video about Super One. We have updated presentations coming next few days, and we have also a separate compensation presentation that's ready to ship very shortly, just waiting for some graphics. So we are moving on these things. And yeah, I think we're gonna stop there. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because we have a launch plan for these cards, and it's gonna be very interesting to enter into a very hot market with these products, and be able to finally start getting the credits used inside the application.
Andreas, I think the whole concept of receiving its usage rights, effectively, what you get when you have one of the NFTs, I think it's starting to sink in. Let's just discuss it really, because I need everybody to understand. So let's say I have a silver Ronaldo card, and so every time. And let's say there are 100 of these cards, just 100 in circulation, and I've got.
There are only 100. We are limiting it to 100 of each color, sort of.
So every time when somebody's playing a game about football and it's an intermediate level, equivalent to silver cards, when there is a question about Ronaldo and somebody just draws a circle to do a free pass, I could be one of the people who will get the 5%. So one of the 100. We'll get 5%.
What will happen is that we are pooling. It's like a pool. So all the 100 cards is into a pool. So you always have 1%. You will always have 1% every time somebody's circling a silver card or whatever color. Every time somebody's buying the question, and there's a limited number of times you can do that. You can't just buy your way through the game. But let's say, for argument's sake, there are 3 times you can do it in a tournament. Every time one is using, let's say, a silver, is just doing a circle tap on his in front of the game, like a swoosh, and then he's actually buying the question. Let's say that cost, let's say it cost $1, just to say. Then you will have 1 cent to you.
Wow! So you actually are getting paid. This is not a chance. It's not like 1 of 100 chance that you're going to get paid. You will get paid.
You get paid every time there is a swap on that player in that color. That's why we limit the number of tokens available to 100. So you always have 1%. So you get but 1 cent doesn't seem like a lot of money. But if you have 10 million people swiping around, it adds up. So what we created is a financial scheme at the back of these tokens. So we back them with user financials. So based on 1.5 million paying players, we estimate that you have a return on these tokens about 100% a year in just payout, okay? And then you can imagine if we tenfold that, how this can become, from a financial point of view, we are very concerned about creating something people really like and can actually earn money on, because it's all about money. When it comes to this, it's about collective value, but we are rooting this from the economy in the game, and this is how we create an ecosystem that is balanced all around. So when we have our discussions about the pricing of these tokens and we have discussions about the number of issues, we always bring back to, okay, what is the value inside the game, how it fit with the money side of it, how it fit with the player experience inside the game, which is tremendously important. And we started in the game when we kind of exited fantasy. We had 4 difficulties. From the outset, I wanted 3 because we had 3 earlier, and we went to 4. Now we're back to 3 because we wanted to align it with these colors. We wanted to align it and to make it more, how should I say, easier to understand. And we also have in the game, we have algorithms that pose the questions, and we have different dynamic algorithms that I created to you can start off with easy questions, but you're automatically, we pull in silver or medium questions or even hard questions based on the level of performance on the platform in your among your peers, because we cannot have a game where too many get too much right. It's too easy. There is a little not a little. It's a big psychological effect of this. You want someone to win, at the same time you want the average to move, and they need to feel that they can manage the game. And if you're putting too much hard questions, it will be the rumor that, hey, this game, we can't play it. It's impossible. And I'm a little bit too old in this, and that's why we have experience, because we did that failure before. We did it exactly that failure. We pulled in too hard questions, and people were set off, was like put off, and said, hey, we can't, I know nothing. And I understand, because we were, at that point in time, we thought we did something right. So that's what we call experience. We have it in our databases. But now these NFTs, that's really cool, is connected. So every time, and you can imagine, we started these discussions where I said we're going to have the whole Champions League, and then all of a sudden Super League came in, and everything was like, for a week, it was a lot of turmoil, a lot of things. We looked at, okay, we're going to have all these cards, and then we kind of reassessed and say, okay, let's do the top 100 players. And that's what we've done now. We've taken the top 100 players, and we created these cards in 5 different designs for top 100 players. That's where we're starting. And those players are selected by sort of recognition by FIFA, also by the knowledge of our football team. And we also adjusted a little bit for our, how should I say, the market, and so we also get people represented around the world. And basically, we have only 100. So every time there's a bronze question about Messi, the holder of the $1 goes into the bronze pool of Messi, and it's distributed to the issued cards. And these cards needs to be parked or staked. You know, we need to have the same thing there as we have on the token. So it's not that all these cards. So if you put the card on a trading market, it's maybe not parked for staking. So we utilize the same legal framework, I can use that word, both technical and legal framework for these cards in the same fashion we do with a super token. So we can put a finger in the air and then say half of the tokens at all time in average going to be staking. Maybe more, we don't know. There is always a lot of people that don't do things. They want to take it out, they want to have it in their own wallet, they don't want to park it in a contract. Can be many reasons. They want to trade it, they forgot about it. There's a lot of these things. So given the fact that half of these tokens will be in play, okay, then I say the 100% return on the tokens maybe become 200% return. So, but from the outset, we need to have fully diluted financials to say, okay, 100% return on this purchase price. It's from the outset very good, but it's up to the market to decide, because we're going to have a marketplace for this. So we're going to sell them and say, okay, the bronze card is minimum $250, but it's going to be a bidding situation. And if you, an example, look on OpenSea, there is a bidding, and then all of a sudden we can say we release 10 cards, and they can be selling at double the price. We don't know. It's about the market. And that will benefit. How will this benefit the network? That's the question. So we're going to bring that money into play in the network. Like we said, it's going to be staking. It's going to increase the whole awareness. So the purpose of this company is to ship products for everyone. Okay, we're going to be out there with consumable products, like the game is a fantastic representation. We are not depending on everyone on the sort of in the network playing the game. They're going to benefit from all that commerce. That's what that's the whole setup. And at the same time, now we're starting. We need to attend to, like we discussed earlier. In example, Binance is opening an NFT store. It's probably going to be the biggest one in the world very quickly. Of course, we're going to be there. We're going to have new customers. We're going to bring them in, awareness. They're going to maybe end up as affiliates. We don't know. So we're going to bring that, and the affiliates are part of the company, sort of integrated marketing force. So we're going to bring all that together. At the same time, we're going to give some of these goods as a sort of a benefit. You can use your credits to buy these NFTs. But we can't
just a question that, Johnny, if I could interrupt for a second, just kind of piece it all together. So, as I actually said before you arrived, that when you get closer and closer to those things being out, you all of a sudden realize just how many more decisions you have to make. And the fact that, so now, because we had these questions, like what sort of categories of games are we launching? Are we going to do fitness? Are we going to diet and celebrities and sports stars? And now it's starting to make sense. that we're going to scale and expand just like the growth with the players that we have. The more players we have, the more categories we can offer.
Okay, let me take a few lines on that. We're going to start with the football. We have 30,000 football cards. Okay? We haven't started on other sports. Baseball, American football. You can just add up to it. Okay? We have to start somewhere. Not to forget about film stars, movie stars, superstars, artists in general.
Yes.
And it's unlimited. So we are able to, I mean, Sorare is produced 274,000 NFTs into the market. We are starting with 10 players, and we're starting with 100 on each. So that's 1,000 cards we want to start. Okay, if that's okay, we just do more. And that's why the tech team came back to me earlier this week and said, Andreas, are we doing it on AVS or are we doing it IPFS? Because we need to change internally. Because if we start with IPFS, we need to prepare inside the game mechanics already now for this URL scheme. We cannot do that later because we cannot change later. That's the thing. This is carved in stone. There is a point of absolutely no return once we put this out there. We cannot change it. So that's why we have to make sure, and it's taken us a couple of extra days. And this freaking May month in Norway, it's full of what you call red days. It's like Ascension Day, and it's like Whitsun Day, and Monday was National Day. It seems like May, that our mighty God constructed May in Norway to be all red. And it's crazy. So, and you know, Norwegians, they don't work in the days between. So Friday was kind of, I work from home, and that's okay. But trust me, we're doing a lot. And this is coming nicely together. And we are ready with the graphics. We are just applying the video effects to it. So we've done all the graphics. We sorted out all the pictures. Everything is ready. We could have launched it, but we are applying these fantastic video effects that Runa has been doing together with Heide. It's really nice stuff, and it makes them even more appealing. They need to be more sexy, to be honest. It needs to be a little bit more fresh. This is unique artwork. There's nothing similar. It's not like if you look on Sorare, it's a picture of a player that you can find everywhere. They're just taking a picture and a little bit of gradient of that. No, we are maybe unfortunately doing it as a piece of unique art. There is nothing similar because we want the collector value. We want the value of these cards in the future.
Lost you. I'm not sure if this is on my side or on your side. So I'll continue whilst Andreas is coming back. But I've got a question from Joni that I'm going to read out. If you own a Ronaldo card, you get paid when someone pays for a Ronaldo question, and you get paid from the pool. But if you own a Zlatan card, you're not being paid. So that's exactly what I was going with this, Joni. It's yes. You don't get paid. So that question has to come up. The question that is related to the card that you have. So if there is a question about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, then you have to have, if you have that card, you benefit. If you don't have that card, you don't. So this is the beauty of what the company is doing. And that's the reason why we're not releasing games in too many categories right now. Because if we did, then the likelihood of you getting that revenue, getting that income from the card usage would have been minimal. And this is why it's, when you think how these things link with each other, why only 100? Why only football initially? Because of that. Because the company is also thinking about you and the type of revenue that you'll be able to generate from the usage of these cards. If we had too many cards, too many games, you'll be earning pennies a month, maybe. This is the reason. So these things did not come together only until like 10, 15 minutes ago. Like we are hearing about it, we are attending those calls, but you really have to just listen to those things and ask questions sometimes, just like Johnny just now, to really get that stuff. So it's really, really cool. It's a very powerful concept. And again, this is one of these things that we especially like about the company, about Super One. It's not just about that one-time transaction, just one-time commission that you receive when you onboard a customer and the customer buys a package. You have these multiple ways throughout their journey that allow you to earn additional income, that allow you to earn additional revenue. Just as long as you've got the customer who's engaging in the ecosystem, who's spending money, who's doing something, then you've got these continuous ways throughout to earn extra from the single customer. That's the true type of residual income within a digital opportunity. Real usage, guys. Like every single one of you, I'm sure that you're being bombarded by all these crazy pay daily type of things. When you ask questions, you get no answers, ever. But you see what we have? So this is the reason why there's truly limited number of these cards available out there, and also limited number of games and game categories, because we want you to be earning money, decent money, from that type of a revenue source.
Something happened.
That's okay. I had a good opportunity to clarify on those things. So it was yeah.
And I was something with all of a sudden it went dark, everything. It's okay. Yeah. So that's the beauty of the NFT, and that's why we are stressing the underlying value that comes from the game. And
so these NFTs cards, it's like almost being a songwriter, right? You've got the song that somebody is using, playing, buying, and you get usage rights continuously.
Yeah, that's a good one. We are the Spotify of gaming.
Yes,
so you will earn on these cards by royalties by staking them there every time somebody asks for help. And from the outset we started doing yearly cards and everything, but now we scaled it down to become more. We don't want too many cards, and that's been part of the process. Now we're down to 30,000 cards on football. So that's really we think we kind of hit the middle ground. We are not too many cards and not too cheap, and we are not too expensive, and there is a financial value to it, staking value. Same with the token. I mean, at 1.5 million players, you can drive home $30 cent a token in staking based on $500 million. 500 million token staking, and that is, if you bring that to the market value, or what will be the intrinsic market value of the token based on $30 cent? That's a good question. But if you're going to be at market average, just to say that, in Nasdaq is 30.6 is the average of the net revenue in this the trailing 12 months net revenue. So that you can multiply 30 cent with 30, and you are at the market average for those tokens. And that's going to be a hefty number if you have a lot of tokens. But the market is there. If you look on Chill's token, like we discussed earlier, Chill's token has a market cap of plus minus $2 billion. They do football fan token. So it is pretty, and they have heavy liquidity because they listed on Binance. They do a lot of stuff, and the market has been is kind of coming forward in a very, very how should I say, bull way. Despite the downturn now, we still see NFTs doing stuff, doing well, and it's a good market. So we should really move fast and secure the base and make sure we have a lot of people coming into the system, because we will deliver more and more and more stuff. We haven't even started. We talked about sports, yes, different NFT programs. We talk about entertainment, lifestyle, what you can do with food NFTs, also sushi-related questions, what you can do with cars, all car brands, tons of things you can do, travel, what you can do with countries. You can sell a country card. We have a lot of this developed but not completed yet. Then you can move to spaces that we haven't even. Is no point releasing that at this point. It comes together with the game later, before the game, maybe in the months before the game, we release the spaces, and then you can buy. Again, like your Spotify analogy, you can buy a board, and that board will be every time there is an advertising coming on that board, you will earn money. It's like earning a sales booth, and it's like having a shopping center, and you have revenue-based rent. Every time somebody buy in a shopping center, you earn a little bit, and that's how it's working, and that will be the spaces. And we're going to also peg that back to discounts and a lot of different stuff we are all into this. Our team is well versed in this technology, and we're using the evergreen Ethereum ERC20, ERC721, which is exactly the same we can use on Binance Chain. So we are into this. We have interoperability into our Hyperledger blockchain that we haven't spoken about for a long time. But when you get the white paper, you will see that is a material part of our accomplishments and investments over the past 6 months. So that's the home of all these transactions. So I believe the NFT it's just a start. There are so many things we can do with the NFTs because they, like being individual tokens, you can add values, you can do a lot of things. So I believe we are on a very, very good track, and now we are very positive in getting these first hundreds of NFTs sold, get them in, get market adoption for them. If we need to adjust something, okay, so then we adjust. We can adjust, in example, the prices, or like I said, it's a little bit binary, it's a little bit black and white. Is whether it's sales sales go poof immediately, or it goes maybe at all, not at all. But we don't believe that. We don't believe that. We believe we're going to have sales, and we're not going to release too many at the time to keep the scarcity there. And everyone wants to have these numbered things. They are numbered from 1 to 100. So you can buy number 1, 2, whatever it comes. And but we kept the design equal for all 100. Has to deal with capacity. We don't necessarily do that for all future. We can change. Not on this one, but different collections. So I think it's interesting. We arrived at something we feel very comfortable as from the management side to release it, and we feel comfortable it has we can be on stage sort of vouching for it in terms of the game utility itself, and it will bring home ownership value, which is all about. This is why we call Super One the future today, because these kind of business models, they didn't exist a few years ago. They are here now, and they are here to stay, and they're going to change the whole way businesses are made. Non-fungible tokens going to be your real estate, going to be a non-fungible token. It's going to be tokenized. You'll be able to lend money from whoever around the world sizing your token. So it's we are into this, and that's again the future today is very important. A little bit of a kind of a cliche, but it's true. When you look at the financial market and the appreciation of companies in the blockchain space, it goes through the roof. And then all of a sudden you wake up and you see an article saying, hey, today the market is down 30%. Everybody's, oh, this is the crash of the Bitcoin. This is the end of everything. And it's going to go, oh, everything is crazy. And everybody, you look at your wallet and, oh, shit. And then, okay, it kind of goes like this. And then you see, next day, we are up 15% again. It's this volatility that's kind of make it not that good, sort of. What I'm hoping for is a stable coin on Ripple that will make us, and I kind of heard some rumors, and a great stable coin on Ripple will be tremendous for us. We can use USDT on Ripple, would have been crazily cool. So that's hopefully coming shortly. I mean, Ripple is for us the best platform. It do a few seconds and it's paid out. We are doing a couple of changes to the internal structure on Ledger and stuff. But what we have with the Ripple network, we have a global PayPal solution that pay you within seconds. And that's the future music. The on-ramp and off-ramp into fiat is just what kind of prevents us from becoming a global PayPal with seconds in settlement. So that's the next phase. But first we have a game to publish. And when we speak to people about this game and we show them the whole concept, it kind of comes more to see the real potential there. So that's cool. That's good. Let's just push forward and get this released so people see the piece of evidence that we are delivering on what the product line. That product line with NFTs is from here to there. It's long. And trust me, we are developing something new every week. There is always a new idea, how we can massage it. Okay, now we worked on this. We started with okay, we're going to do the Champions League every day. Now we are down to this. Okay, this is good. It works with the game. Bang, ship it. Next one. Next one. We also have some interesting thing on digital IDs and stuff like that coming in the pipeline. So the whole idea is to bring as many people as possible into Super One and become a powerhouse in this. And we're going to use the game as the catalyst to bring in even more people. And then there will be tens of millions of people on the platform. We have millions of people spending money on the platform. And we have a platform to really thrive into the future together. Get a little bit cliche, but look at the. It's all about revenue. It's all about money. So if you have all these people, they enjoy your product and they will start buying, and microtransaction is the key. Turn a little bit here, a little bit there, 1 cent here. 1 cent is okay if it comes from a million purchases. So that's the way it is. Gaming is microtransactions. It's where psychology intervene with money. It's fear of losing out on some occasion, fear of this, or you really need to have this question right, so you double down and take, wow, I want to secure this because then I'm into the next level. And we're going to deal with that into not thousands, not millions, but probably billions of transactions. Ding, 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 ding. Only the test game we had on this had more than 1 million gameplays, so it's very high numbers. And we also got some interesting valuations that I'm not making public, at least not yet, because they are very good, and they're very substantiated with a whole new financial model for the not only the company but for the tokens, for the cards, and for the spaces. All this is made by professional financial advisors. So we have all the 5-year plans made out with cash flows, with taxation, with everything sorted out. And on top of that, we have a valuation on each of these things. And once we start delivering on our milestones here, you can start looking into the valuation. It's going to be very high, or it's already high based on where we are. But now we need to move. Like I said, we need to move further, build the community, get the game shipped, get the token listed, get these things into play, so we become more and more saturated. The thing is, like, this is in a very startup phase. We are still a startup. And Coca-Cola defined themselves as a startup. Well, here you go. Coca-Cola defined themselves as a startup. The thing is, we are at least we are then we are an immature startup. And the thing is, like, we are in the early days. We are able to change things. The technology is changing, and it's probably changed more over this past year. We've been dealing with this model. Technology changed, market condition come and go. But we need to have a long-term perspective. Like on the game, this trivia game's been around for centuries, sort of. And what we do now in a new fashion, in a new way, is unique for what we do, but it will last for a long time because interests don't move away. And look at strong games like Pokemon. They launched in 2016. They had more revenue in 2019 than in 2016 and 17. So it's crazy how it's, and COVID-19 has accelerated the whole thing. So now we are good so far, but there is a scarce of designers, developers. The whole market is kind of going digital, and what we see is that bigger investors and companies coming to the crypto space. Because I think I said in the first presentation, transferring $100 from Norway to US today costs you $20 and takes a day or two. With Ripple, it takes a few seconds and costs next to nothing. What's going to win? Everybody knows that Ripple Tech will, or similar technologies will win. And the whole business model we're using now, based on the Ethereum and the non-fungible kind of thing, it all started as a little bit of a joke with CryptoPunks and this kind of thing. But they're starting a trend. A trend will often start like a joke. What's going to happen to Dogecoin is having all this appreciation and millions and millions of holders. All of a sudden they can flip around, rebrand, whatever, and they become a payment coin that will beat the initiative of Facebook. So, yeah, enough bubble about these things. NFT schemes coming shortly, coming with a nice video. It's going to be a controversial video, and it's coming with new stuff. Not always new stuff, but a little bit improved. We improve in every corner. So now we need to grow the sales so you can make money. That's what I said in the beginning. Player delight. Okay, we're fixing that. We have a tremendous roadmap for the game. Started with everything coming from ourselves in the very beginning, nurtured by fantasy over 6 months, and even proved by gaming experts that came out of fantasy for 2-3 months now. And also Alexander came into play, coming from Google, with a lot of consumer behavior insight. And then compensation model and the business part of it started basically a year ago. We've been updating this platform. It's working perfectly, and it's paying you within seconds. It's great opportunities for people to make, like many of you done, $1,000 a day, even more, if you build your team. It's designed for team building, and we have some new graphical models being on release now, how we compare to Amazon. And it's very simple. You can build the team, and that's it, and you will earn from residual value. You can work hard for a while, and you create your team, and you're able to leverage that team going forward. But you will never stop work, because you will find it's cool, and you will maintain it. And I mean, it's said to be more than 100 million people in the networking industry out there. Let's get 1% into this. We still have a little bit to go. We can 20-fold in short period of time. And from there, we had a very interesting meeting with our Japanese teams in the beginning of the week, and they say that they just love Super One, because they feel the whole thing, and they are so close to the gaming industry. There are more billion-dollar gaming companies in 2 blocks or 2-3 blocks in downtown Tokyo than in the whole Europe, and they feel it very much, and they also are really in love with the Ripple, because with utility and its legal tender in Japan, and they really like the whole model, and they're coming heavily into this. They've been with us for a long time. They are increasing their sales force, and they have their own way of presenting stuff, and it's very interesting to see how they do that. And their presentations are very, very extensive. They are more than 100 pages with all kind of details, and it's very interesting to see how different cultures adopt. But we create something, and then we believe it's good, and then you see it's not maybe the right thing for them, and so they take it and make it into pieces and create another 50 pages and go into details in ways we don't understand. But it shows a little bit of the globalness, the universal adoption of Super One, and it's all rooted in making money. It's all coming there. That's where it's coming from. That's the universal combinator, sort of. And gaming is also universal. And Japan, like I said, $1 million every hour, every day, every year in Tokyo alone is the most gamified city in the world. So that's really cool. And yeah, we are on a good note. Now it's all about NFTs, showing products, more products coming, more NFTs. But first, we need to get the NFTs into play. You will be able to buy them with credits in the app to a limited extent, because we cannot sell all the products to credits inside the app. We need to also expand the horizon. We need to bring in more commerce to the whole platform to the benefit of the community. That's what we're doing. So we start with 10% inside the platform. If it works well, we can increase, but we have to save a little bit of the chocolate for the bigger world to get more tuned in on Super One, get more people in, get them. The business model is to be decentralized. We need to have more people. So we cannot require people to register with Super One, buy Ripple, then buy an NFT. We need to be where the hot commerce is. In the NFT, it has been Ethereum, and it's gonna be in June. It's gonna be Binance, because Binance is opening their NFT shop, and they are by far the largest exchange with the most power in the whole crypto space. So they will definitely succeed with that. So yeah, that's enough, I think. Now, any questions, Arthur?
No, I'm just answering a question to Sharona to do with the feature transferring credits to the other members. This is in a development queue. Early next week, we will have a call where we're going to decide on the list of priorities. Again, we are doing everything in our power to, first of all, release the store, sort out April's promotions, staking, and then we've got also another feature that is at the final stage of development.
We like I told you earlier, we have a pretty big list of things in process. At the same time, we don't add more development resources now. We have 22 people on a full time on the engineering part alone, and that is kind of churning through. Like I needed I needed to take out a couple of resources to do the IPFS scheme to get that gone. So, but we are focusing now more and more on the product side, on what we're doing. We are kind of putting behind us a little bit of the affiliate. The affiliate system is working perfectly. There are some enhancements that we have team doing. They're doing support, but we need to, everyone need to understand, we need to put more of our resources into the product itself, ultimately the game, because we have a separate team on the game. But this NFT thing we are doing with the affiliate team at the moment, because that's where the smart contract competence lies. That's where we link it to the usage of credits. So that's why we opted for that. We didn't do it with the game team separately. We did it inside the current affiliate team, and they're also well versed with the super token, with everything that's connected to this. So the super token new contract is ready, verified. We just need to make it public. And then we will disperse all the new tokens. It's already in the app. We changed the tokens, and there are 192 million tokens issued at the moment, totally for everyone. That's where we are. And the tokenomics is a maximum cap of 1 billion. So we have a little bit to go, but we will be very careful how we do this. And it will be great opportunities, how we do things. We're going to have a very high value on that. So we're going to be very careful how we do different schemes there. Okay.
Perfect. That's been a great update, Andreas. I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.